Hello, this is Bill Steffen. For some of you, you need some more rain, and there isn't much in the forecast here, but for many of you, this is going to be a great Labor Day weekend. Temperatures are going to be very pleasant during the daytime, and we should be seeing a good amount of sunshine and dry conditions across the area. Well, let's start out with a hello to our affiliate viewers that are coming from the Ottawa News Network. Good to have you here. One thing I noted that was interesting is, according to our computers here, the contiguous United States late afternoon Thursday was about 4.7 degrees cooler than average, and that's a pretty significant amount. So much of the country is seeing cooler than average temperatures. Average high for Grand Rapids is 79. We made 77 here during the day on Thursday. Beautiful picture there, by the way, of the sunset. Sally at Sun Long, and we've been using that here. Let's move on and take a look at Thursday rainfall. Most areas did not see a ton of rain. The Kalamazoo Nature Center picked up almost 3/4 of an inch. Kalamazoo Airport 3/10. Lansing had 1/4 of an inch. Clarksville, where I used to get ice cream on my way back from seeing Michelle at Hillsdale, 1/1500 of an inch there. Belding with about 1/10 of an inch. At my house, we could have used some more, but we did get 6/100 of an inch and just 3/100 of an inch in both Grand Rapids and at the Muskegon Airport. Holland, by the way, only had a trace of rain, and it is very dry over there. Okay, let's take a look at temperatures across the area. Grand Rapids topping the list. How about that? 77 degrees here Thursday afternoon. Alma also made 77. Battle Creek, once again, cooler than Grand Rapids by a degree. Kalamazoo, where it rained, 2 degrees cooler than Grand Rapids as the sun was busy evaporating water instead of just heating the air. 71 at the South Haven Pier. That high temperature occurred 1 minute after midnight. And the Holland Beach reached their high temperature of 70 at 12:12 a.m. Ludington during the day, just 67. The Muskegon Pier at 66. And it was chilly up along the Lake Superior shoreline. Up by the pictured rocks area, temperatures were only in the mid-50s at mid-afternoon. Well, lake forecast looks like this. We're going to be seeing waves around a foot. Winds will start out northeast in the morning and then will likely shift northwest coming in off the water. Lake water temperatures near shore are kind of chilly in most areas. Holland was up there at 70. And it's kind of interesting because you go south a little bit to Saugatuck and the water temperature was 53. South Haven Buoy was 71, so there is some warmer water not too far offshore. Reed's Lake, certainly cooler than they were when temperatures were in the 80s, but they would still manage to get up to 75 during the afternoon on Thursday. Taking a look at our sunrise and sunset times, we lose another 3 minutes of daylight. We're down to 13 hours and 17 minutes with the sunset now at 8:21. And the average high and low temperature is still hanging in there at 79 and 59. Record high for today, 95 and 1953. That was a warm summer. And 41 was the low temperature in 1982. The winter of 82-83 was quite warm. It was 65 degrees on Christmas Day in 1965. So that was interesting. Okay, let's take a look at one of our sponsors and let's see what they have to say.
When your home needs help, you might not know where to start. Why not ask Ace? We're always here to help with Ace Handyman Services. Our talented craftsmen handle everything from drywall and carpentry to doors and kitchens. We're the neighbors you trust to get the job done right. Let's get started. Book your handyman appointment today. Ace Handyman Services, bringing helpful to your home.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
And thanks to Ace for sponsoring the show. Interesting map here. This is the severe weather reports from Thursday, and there were really not much in the way of severe weather. We had 2 reports of very small tornadoes, and one of them is interesting. The one down in Florida, in western Palm Beach County, near Lake Okeechobee, right down there. It's rated EFU. You know, we have a scale for rating tornadoes from EF0 up to EF5. Well, they couldn't find any damage from the tornado, and so they had no way to, they had a picture of it, I believe. There was no way to determine what the EF rating would be. So it goes into the books as EFU for unknown. There's a black X in northeast Colorado. That was an 87-mile-an-hour wind gust at Akron, reported by one of the weather stations there. By the way, several of these reports were probably duplicates of the same storm. 3 or 4 different reports in one town of a tree blowing down. Really, there was very little severe weather here during the day on Thursday. We're in a very calm period in terms of severe weather across the United States. Here's what the severe weather outlook area looks like here for Friday, this Friday. We've got a marginal or level 1 risk that runs from Nebraska on down to northeastern New Mexico. And we've got another little marginal area, parts of extreme southeast Texas into southwest Louisiana. Main threat would be just a very isolated report of wind damage. Michigan is all white colored, and that means no thunderstorms in Michigan today. And that is the case again tomorrow. If we go to the Saturday map, you'd be able to see it really doesn't change much. There'll be a few isolated showers and storms across the southern United States and up through the Central Plains, lee of the Rockies. But and also northern New England there could see a thunder shower there. But Michigan is dry right on through the coming weekend. In terms of rainfall, you can see there's no rain over Michigan over the next 3 days. You can see the more significant rain down in as far eastern Texas into Mississippi, where there's that yellow and orange color. They should see a good soaking. A little bit of rain west of us out toward Minneapolis, and that's going to dive southeast and miss us. So again, we should stay dry right on through the weekend. It looks like they've almost cleared the rain totally out of Arizona, but this has certainly been a summer for rain in eastern New Mexico. And you can see that rain extends up into Montana, and there is some rain in New England. Taking a look at our tropicus, and there's one hatched area that's only got a 20% chance of developing in the next week. So the next week we do not anticipate any tropical activity in the Atlantic Ocean. The average peak time for hurricane activity in the Atlantic is September 10th, but the pattern hasn't changed a whole lot from last year. And remember, last year, everything picked up after about September 15 or 20 or so. Second half of the hurricane season was much more significant. We had, of course, Helene, which came up into western North Carolina and caused all the flooding, and then Milton, which did damage across Florida. So we do expect the hurricane season to perk up here in the Atlantic for mid and late September. Okay, let's go on and take a look at the eastern Pacific Ocean. We do have a tropical storm forming there, that red color indicating about an 80% chance of the next tropical storm, and that would be Kiko, K-I-K-O, I believe. And that will be tracking toward Hawaii, though it will probably break up by the time it reaches Hawaii, if it can manage to get that far. The orange area there represents about a 40-50% chance of a storm developing there over the next week. There really hasn't been much going on in the Eastern Pacific over the past couple of weeks. They started out with a lot of activity, and then it just kind of faded away. Okay, we go to the Western Pacific, where it's usually quite active at this time of year, and there's nothing there but one little old tropical depression, which may become a very minimal tropical storm before it heads into Vietnam north of Da Nang. But other than that, not much going on. You can see, look at how clear Australia is, like from one end of the country to the next, that huge area there. Seeing basically clear conditions, and it remains sunny as it has been for the last month over Egypt and most of Saudi Arabia into Iran. Okay, headlines: dry Friday to Monday, mostly sunny skies are expected. Cooler than average Friday and Saturday. We get close to average here for Sunday and on Monday as temperatures climb up close to 80 degrees. Okay, let's take a look then at what we have for today. Sunny and 70 degrees, low temperature in the early morning, mid 40s, so you might want to jacket early today. And that's about what the moon looks like. The moon's been looking pretty here in the evening. It's off to the southwest during the early part of the evening, and then moves west and fades below the horizon. Humidity down to 45% in the afternoon, and wind should be light. Waves on the lake only running about a foot or so. Here's a look at some high temperatures for the day today. We're looking for about 69 or 70 in inland areas, maybe 65 to 67 right at the immediate lakeshore. And it will be cool up in the UP, where there's some temperatures there that may hold in the low 60s right along the Lake Superior shoreline. But they should be seeing some sunshine up there as well. We go to Saturday, and here's what the high temperatures look like. A couple degrees warmer. We should be back up into the mid 70s here in some inland areas. Again, a few degrees cooler near the lake, and it warms up to around 70 in the UP. So anybody heading north this weekend, looking pretty good. We got the highs for Sunday. Next day on the list, we're warming things up just a bit, up close to the upper 70s in the Grand Rapids area, low to mid 70s near Lake Michigan, and mid 70s in the UP. Should be a great weekend to be traveling across anywhere in the state of Michigan. And finally, Monday, we got the Bridge Walk going on in Saugatuck. We got the Bridge Walk, of course, the Mackinac Bridge. It'll probably be, while everybody's walking, it'll probably be in the low to mid 60s to start. So yeah, you might want a light jacket early, but all in all, this should be a great day. Temperatures should make it up above 70 during the afternoon. Grand Rapids should be close to 80 Monday afternoon, and probably close to that on Tuesday as well. Next chance of rain won't occur until about Wednesday, late Wednesday, or even Thursday of next week. So if you need some rain, probably have to drag the hose out, or I think the farmers will be moving the irrigation around just a little bit if you're still doing that. But mostly sunny right on through the period here, Friday through on Tuesday. And the 8 to 14 day outlook, really not much change across the area. We're calling for temperatures in the 8 to 14 day period here to be on the cool side. You can see the cool. By the way, this would be a really cold pattern if it were January. I mean, we'd be seeing high temperatures here in the teens. Low temperatures probably around 0 to 5 above. But being September, this is a great pattern if you don't mind dry conditions here. It stays warm in the western United States out into the second week of September, and in Florida. But again, the area from the mid-south down across the Great Lakes into parts of New England should be on the cool side. And again, in terms of rainfall, near to below average rainfall is expected. There'll be a frontal system that'll be kind of stalled from Arizona to Texas to Florida, and there'll be some thunder showers there. No, not a lot of severe weather expected with it being September. You just don't get a lot of that with a pattern like this. So that's the way it looks. Really should be pretty nice. What's going on this weekend? Well, we got the St. Joseph Friday night concert series. St. Joseph is down next to Benton Harbor. Last show of the season at the band shell, a band called Sankofa, Eclectic Soul. It is free. It's about an hour long. And the band is from Benton Harbor, so you might want to check that out. What else we got here coming up? August 29th, the 2005 Hurricane Katrina reaches landfall in Louisiana. It first made landfall in Florida and then intensified into a Category 5 as it headed toward the New Orleans area. We were quite confident where the storm was going 48 hours out. And it's really a shame that there were 1,800 fatalities, because a lot of those people didn't have to move very far to stay above sea level, which was the big thing to do as the levees broke. And what was interesting, there were 50 failures of levees. It wasn't just one. It was many places. This was a system that just did not work right there. It reached landfall in the Delta area of Louisiana at a Category 4, but I think it was only Category 2 when the center passed by New Orleans. There were some gusts as high as 145 miles an hour, certainly strong enough to blow a car over. $150 billion in property damage from a storm like that. And we really have to work so that that doesn't happen again. Because like I said, a lot of those people could have moved and found safer ground to be in. August 29th, 1987, the United States Coast Guard cutter Escanaba was commissioned in Grand Haven. There was a predecessor Escanaba, which sank in World War II. This boat, 270 feet long, can travel at 22 miles an hour, or about 19.5 knots. And we certainly appreciate the Coast Guard. You can go on YouTube and see some Coast Guard rescues that we have video of, and it's really dramatic. There was one off the Washington coast that I watched, And there was, I don't know how a boat got out there, or was not aware of the weather it would encounter, but the Coast Guard went out there and rescued several people from that boat, and uh, I believe the boat sank eventually. So they were very lucky that the Coast Guard was there to rescue them. On we go for August 29th, 1821. That was back a long time. Treaty of Chicago was signed. There were two treaties that involved the United States and several Indian tribes, the Odawa, Chippewa, and Potawatomi, sold the land south of the Grand River and west of Jackson in what is now West Michigan. The U.S. made annuity payments and also provided each of the tribes a blacksmith, a teacher, and a farmer. So that's interesting. Note of history here. This pop star was born August 29th, 1958. Be about as old as my sister. His 1983 album Thriller, okay, that gives it away, sold 45 million copies and was the top album in history at the time. Wow, I didn't know that was that popular. This, of course, was Michael Jackson. I believe the Jackson family was from Gary, Indiana. Does that ring a bell? That's what I remember. But yeah, they really hit it big time. And it wasn't just Michael; it was Janet and the entire family. But he was born in the late 1950s. Okay, on we go. August 29, 2008, John McCain selected this Alaska governor, and now I know who it is, to be his running mate, and that was Sarah Palin. And I think she was born in Idaho. She was quite the hunter, and her family moved from Idaho to Alaska, where she grew up and became the mayor of Wasilla, and then the governor. She was a very popular governor. If you take a look at the polls from her, and she negotiated a pretty good deal for Alaska with the oil companies. And then John McCain picked her. She did not become the vice president of the United States, and we haven't heard much from her. I don't know where she wound up, but probably up there in Alaska somewhere. Okay, on we go. August 29, 1825, the Treaty of Rio de Janeiro recognized Brazil's independence from this European country. And since they speak Portuguese, let's guess Portugal on this one. There it is. Portugal has a very pleasant climate, by the way. If you're looking for a place, they get a lot of sunny days in the winter, and it's very seldom any really cold air gets there. It would have to come across Spain and usually warm up a little bit, but very, very pleasant country. You don't hear much about Portugal. It, of course, is smaller than Spain, but takes up a portion of the Iberian Peninsula. And I don't know if Michelle has been there or not, but I know they have some beautiful churches there in Lisbon and around the surrounding area there. They get a sea breeze just like the United States gets a sea breeze during the warmer months. Okay, let's go on, see what else we got. We got some pictures to show you. Sally chiming in with a beautiful picture here. Note the different colors of the clouds. We talked before about the fact that clouds can change color fairly rapidly, especially as the sun is setting or rising during the early morning. This is at Holland State Park. A lot of camper trailers there this time of year, and they usually continue to fill the place up here right on through the month of September. Water temperatures are often warmer in September than they are in early June, so it's still a pretty good time to be there. Thank you, Sally, for that picture. We got a couple more pictures to share with you here. This is from Dave Verhoeven, and look at all those different colors. Looks like a sunset, could be a sunrise. Some high clouds there giving the sky some color, and you can see a little bit of variation of color even down to the horizon there. So Dave, thank you for that picture. We have a couple more to share with you here. This one is from John Doherty. It looks like there's a little bit of haze in the air there, a little bit of fog, could be early morning, and some breaks in the clouds there. And The cat just jumped up to look at John's picture. Yeah, did you hear that? The cat just made a comment about John's picture. So that's pretty cool reaction here. And I believe we have one more picture here from John Scully. Pass along. Wouldn't you like to be there? Isn't that a beautiful scene? We got the boats there by the water. We've got what was that, Kitty? Kitty's looking at the picture here. Kitty's off to the side of me here. But very pretty picture. And we certainly want to thank all of you who send pictures to us. We show as many of them as we can. And if you have any comments or anything to share, we would certainly be glad to carry on a little bit of conversation with you here. Don't forget my YouTube channel. That is Bill Steffen 616. You can subscribe. It is free. We'll have a lot going on. I continue to do these videos, even like over the weekends and whatnot. The weather never changes or never stops, and so I'd like to say I never stop either. And that is my amazing picture of the snow, July 22nd in Alberta, just north of Lake Louise, where they had 4.5 inches of snow on the ground at daybreak after an overnight snowstorm. All right, have yourself a great day, and if you don't check in between now and the next couple of days here, have yourself a fantastic weekend. Good night.